Okay, thank you very much. Good morning. Yeah.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Tentang and I
Ah,
am from the West Borneo. As you
okay.
can see, it is a Kalimantan Island.
Okay.
In there, we learn English too. Okay,
You,
let's
you can
start
you
the
can start your
topic.
presentation. Thank you.
And today, I will talk about the DDoS attack. First of all, what is DDoS attack? DDoS attack is about a Syn Flood in a packet rejection where the attacker with a fast connecting to server without finishing the connection itself,
Okay.
and then the server will empty the resource and waiting for the connection until it's half open,
Mhm.
so it making the system is not responsive and with with a legal traffic.
Mhm. Okay.
Sometimes this and usual this connection is always using a three-way handshake, and it is known as TCP connection. Okay, is that clear? I think it's very clear.
Yeah, clear.
Okay, in this day, I will attack my router or microtik router using the fast stream web stress with inputting with inputting my address in the URL. After that, I give the 10 threads and 10 client per thread. So when this attack start, they will send 10 threads to 10 client
Mhm.
simultaneously.
Yeah.
So it can make your router become drop and will empty the resource. Capek. After that, if you want to have a solution for this thing, you need to make a two input with a two firewall.
Mhm.
The firewall itself, you have to make the chain input, and the protocol itself, you have to fill it with a TCP protocol. After that, you give the advanced block DDoS in the source address list, and the action is target. And in this case, I forgot to get in the extra part.
Mhm.
The extra part is like this: IP firewall. It is like this. So connection limit is 10 and net mask is 32.
Okay. So it's mean
In
that
the sort,
you make a boundary for 10 maximum, yeah. 10 maximum.
yes, a 10
Well,
maximum. Sorry for my bad English,
no,
but
no,
I love
no
using
problem.
it.
Okay.
Okay. After that, you getting the add source to address list and then give the name of the address from the address list itself. After you giving this, you can make a target. What is target? Target is when you make a some connection. It can limit how much it can limit. If it depends on what you need.
Hmm.
So I give the 10 for the limit, and then okay, I will start by using my web stress to attack my router right now. So I will open the file, web stress. Okay, then I will run. Capek Pak Yo.
No
Pakai
problem.
bahasa
You
Inggris
can
tapi.
continue.
Okay, I can continue like this. So it attack my router, but the router itself it's not force close because I already making some the filter in this case. If I don't turn on the filter, this CPU will overload and will automatically force close. As you
Mhm.
can see, the CPU itself is very safe, and the resource is very protected by the input. That's all I can tell you. Thank you. Then I will give you the case when I turn off the filter. Let's see, just like this, I will stop the web stress and I will turn off the filter. After I turn off the filter, I will I just close the application and I will open it again.
Oh, your computer resources is full. So the tong in will break the session with the Zoom. Okay, we will wait for tong in to reconnect the Zoom. Oke, nanti kita tunggu tong in ya.
Oke, Pak.
Ya, nyalakan. Oke, tong in, can you continue?
Yes, that's all. That's all.
You have intermittently stop when.
Yes,
Okay.
because the web stress is affecting my router.
Yeah. Okay. You
Okay.
can continue it.
Okay. I think that's
Maybe
all I can tell you, sir.
I suggest you. Maybe I want to suggest you. Yeah. Don't make a 10
Yes.
threads. Maybe you can make a 2 threads only, but with the five client per threads. So it
Okay,
will
okay.
only 10 session. Yeah.
Okay.
Not too big. Okay.
Okay. But I already proved this the sir if my filter is working.
Yeah.
So that's all I can tell you, sir. Thank you for your suggestion, and that's all.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Capek Pak Yo ngomong pakai bahasa Inggris.
No problem.
Mau mikir
You
dua
are
kali.
good in English, yeah.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, there's a presentation from Tong In, yeah. You can show up your video. You can show up your video and turn off the mute. Nah,
Maaf Pak, tadi di rumah saya mati lampu Pak.
Who said that? Fabian.
I'm Jordan.
Oh, Jordan. No problem. I can see you. Even you have a blackout in your room, in your room or in your house, in your home, I can see you. No problem. Fabian, where are you? Are you still there? Okay. You have heard Tong In speak or presentation, give his presentation in English. Maybe if you want to speak in English too, you can try now. Don't be afraid if you have wrong conversation or wrong grammar. It's no problem. Yeah. You have to brave in speaking in English. Don't think about that. Don't think about the mistake. Don't think about the grammar. Just say it. Because language is like if you want to sing a song, don't think about that. If you think about what you want to say, you will not say anything. You always think about what you want to say, but you cannot say anything. Just flow out. But if you don't want to speak in English, it's okay. You can present in bahasa Indonesia. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, sekarang next siapa? Who else? Number 2.
Me, sir. Can I?
Okay, Mr. Alif, you speak in English or you can present in
Yes, I will. I try my best.
Okay, you try your English. Okay.
Can I start, sir?
Okay.
Hello, everyone, and hello, Mr. Yo. My name is Alif Gibran, and I'm from Electrical Engineering 2018, University of Surabaya. And today I will present about network security and what is Syn Flood and what is the solution for Syn Flood. The first, what is Syn Flood? In the Syn Flood, when the synchronization message has been accepted by host machine for starting a handshake.
Yeah.
This request has been accepted by server, and the server is sending the acknowledge to the start starter host while waiting for connection is closed. When the connection is closed, when the machine is request, that connection will be closed. I'm sorry, my English is not quite good, but I try.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem. You can continue. You can use your own
Okay. Thank you,
own
sir.
expression.
In
Yeah.
the Syn Flood, the fake request will be sent and the server will respond the acknowledge packet to finish the TCP connection, but this connection will be directly to the timeout. Then close the connection. So because of this Syn Flood, the resource of the server will be down and the server will be shutting down. Okay, this is the first condition of our router before the Syn Flood has been attacked to our router. As we can see, the CPU load in this my router is around 1%. And after this, we trying to set the Syn attack. We use fast stream web server as the third application there, and in this URL, I fill my IP address for my router is 192.168.3.1 and this threads I set is 50 threads and the client per thread is 10. After that, we can run this fast stream web address and we can see it as the resource of my router is 100% at the CPU load. And as we can see, when our router has been attacked by Syn Flood, the grab is high. As we can see there, the traffic is crowding with the red bars in this picture. Okay, after that, we can set the firewall. In this case, I use input and the protocol is TCP. For the action, I use add source to the address list, and the address list is use Syn DDoS. After that, I can use forward, and the protocol is TCP. The action is add source to the address list. With the address list is the same as the chain input. This is the firewall. This is for drop the packet. In general I use chain forward. The protocol is TCP, and the advanced the source address list is from Syn DDoS. But in this action, we can use drop, but I recommend use in target. And this is the same filter. I use input, protocol, and Syn DDoS. And after we are using a firewall, as we can see, the CPU load is from 100% is going to decrease into 5%. Can I demo for this, sir?
Okay, you can demonstrate your router.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe I can. Nah. Okay. This is the fast stream web stress test. So this is the third application for to simulate the Syn Flood. If I run, but the first I should turn off the firewall. From the system, we go to resource. Sorry, sir. We can run. The CPU load going to be 100%, and this is the IP firewall, and this is the connection. Is majority the connection is TCP, and let's see to the address list. The Syn attack is from 3.9. Which is my router IP address. but the gateway is 3.1. And what happen if we are turn on the firewall? We are going to resources, and the CPU load going to be decreased to around 2 until 5%. That's all my presentation, and sorry if my English not fluently, and thank you for everyone.
Okay, thank you very much, Alif. Yeah, your English is not too bad. Yeah, you have enough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
you are fluent in English. No problem. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Next. Okay, who's next? Siapa lagi yang mau? Not so. You can speak in Indonesian ya. If you don't want to speak in English, tidak apa-apa, pakai bahasa Indonesia juga nggak apa-apa. Ini cuma ngelatih kamu aja, mumpung yang dengarkan masih temannya sendiri gitu. Bukan bosmu nanti yang di ya, nanti kamu kerja, bosmu yang datang yang bule kan, kamu kan masih ngerti bahasa Inggris. Ya latihan sekarang. Enggak apa-apa. Salah enggak apa-apa. Oke. Next, siapa? Ayo. Ainal. Kamu guyang-guyu tak? Kamu. Mute-nya. Pakai bahasa Indonesia nggak apa-apa, Nal. Kalau kamu nggak mau bahasa Inggris.
Yeah, I'm trying my best, sir.
Okay, good.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Ronald Tandiawan from Electrical Engineering 2019. Today, I will discuss about TCP Syn Flood. Okay, for the first, for the definition, what is a Syn Flood? Syn Flood is one of type of DOS where the attacker will send a SYN request to the other server. It means to consume the CPU load, to consume the memory of the server, so our MikroTik can serve us anymore. As we know that there is a three-way handshake method to connect two device. So the Syn Flood is attacked here. Okay, this is the situation or the condition of our router when the Syn Flood is attacked our router. We can see that the CPU load is up to 19.5%, and we can see the traffic is higher. Okay. For this trial, I will use application FastStream Web Stress, where I will send a TCP Syn flood to 10.1. There's a IP of my router. And next, how to resolve that? We can use a firewall input where it chain input, and we use TCP protocol on. For the advanced, we will choose a TCP flag. It means that Syn type. And for the connection limit, I set limit at 10. And for the action, I will add source to address list to the address list name Syn attack. Timeout, I'm used 1 day.
Okay.
Next, I will make another firewall filter in chain input with protocol TCP. And for the source address, I will use the Syn attack that I've created before. And for the action, we should use target. We can use a drop action, but it is not good, because when we use action drop, the attacker will send a Syn request again and again until our MikroTik can serve us anymore. Okay. So we can should use a target. It means that when we use a target, our router will send the answer, but it's not. It's just a fake answer. And here, the condition for our router when we set the firewall before, we can see that the CPU load is down to 1%, and the traffic is so low. And we can see from the firewall, the input and the bytes and packet is up. Okay, next I will show the demonstration. Okay, this is application to use a Syn attack. Maybe I will use just 5 thread for the 5 client per thread. I will attack 10.1 and we will see. For the firewall, maybe I will disable it first and run it. We can see that when I run the application without a firewall filter, we can see our CPU is going up to 19%, and we can see that our memory is consumed. But if we enable the third bit, I mean the firewall, oh, sorry, sir. We will wait. Now, we can see that the traffic is get lower. Oh, sorry. And our CPU is down to 11%, 6%, and our memory is not consumed there. So in conclusion, that if we want to protect our router from the TCP Syn Flood, we can use a firewall filter with the action target. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Good. Thank you very much. Okay. Who's next? Siapa berikutnya?
Maybe I am. So
Okay. Donald Kevin. Okay. You can start it.
first, I'm sorry because my English is not fluency and many bad grammar. I will start. I am Ronald Kevin. I will present about Syn Flood attack. What is a Syn Flood attack? It's a sum of type about distributed denial of service. Is will attack using TCP, and the router will consume many resources because we cannot get about acknowledge from the client. This is a illustration. The illustration one client and one server. This is a normal connection. Is a normal 316. But in this site, this is a attacker. It's a not normal connection. Can we show? Can we see? This is a we cannot get acknowledged from the server, and this is can consume your resource about router, and we can secure my router using target. Before I using target, I will make a input, chain input, and action is add source to address list. This is I limit connection until 10. After that, the router will make the IP is a attacker. Next is a action. I make one change again. The protocol is TCP. in the advanced is source address list is terserah, and the rules extra limit is 10, and the action is start with. It's a normal Winbox when the load TRX and the memory and CPU load is a normal. It's a Winbox after Syn Flood. CPU is 100% and the packet until 1000. After we active a firewall, the CPU is down and the packet is normal. 3 items or until 10 items is a normal packet. Now I will demonstrate using Winbox.
Okay.
I'm using FastStream Web Stress for attack my router, and this is a bandwidth resource of my router, and I'm not using my router to connection with Zoom, and it's not problem for me.
Okay.
First, I not active my firewall, and I will start the attack.
You attack you supaya
Salah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A bit.
Change the IP first. Yeah. Okay.
I using the HCP client IP is this. The traffic is high and the CPU load is 99%. I will activate my firewall. Stop and start again. Turun. Bentar. Pak turun.
If you have to put the firewall, what is the first firewall? Jump to input. What is input?
It's a SMP. Maybe can I disable first?
Okay. Still not working.
But the packet is count. Waiting, sir.
Maybe you have wrong with the interface. What interface that you use?
It is use interface VLAN 1.
You have a virtual AP.
Yes.
You make a virtual AP. Yeah?
Yes. The router has been start, but I don't know what's the problem. Cannot count.
Okay, no problem. You can look for the problem now. Later, if you have find your resolve, Yeah? You can show us again. No problem.
Oh, okay. Okay, sir. I'm sorry.
No problem. Look at what was the problem. If you resolve it, you can show to us again. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Who's else? Who's next? Siapa berikutnya? You don't have to speak in English ya. If you want to speak in Indonesia, it's no problem. Apa? Hendrawan? Apa yang belum? Siapa yang belum? Jordan, Hendrawan sama Chris.
Me, I have not.
Apa sih?
Fabian
Siapa?
tadi.
Siapa? Yang siap, Hendrawan.
Iya,
Oke,
kurang
kamu.
lebih siap. Kurang lebih siap.
Saya setelah Hendrawan, Pak.
Oke, jadi mari Hendrawan, Jordan, terus Chris ya.
Oke.
Kalau mau duluan nggak apa-apa kok, Jer. Santai.
Saya langsung gitu, sopan sudung-sudungan. Ayo.
Oke. Bentar. Okay. Did my voice clear?
Oke, it's shown.
Okay, today I want to present about router defense against the Syn Flood attack. Before it, my name is Hendrawan Herman. I'm from Teknik Electrical Engineering Universitas Surabaya, in focus in intelligent robot. Okay. First, we will talk about. Okay, it doesn't move. About the outline. We will talk about what is the Syn attack, how the firewall design, and how it works in real life. So, what is Syn package? First, Syn package is are normally generated when a client attempts to start a TCP connection to a server. So, the flood, the definition of Syn flood is from a denial of service attack in which an attacker rapidly initiates a connection to a server without finalizing the connection. Because of it, the impact is it will consume more power of the router and the system will be unresponsive against before that there might seem that unfinished the finalizing of the connection. So I will tell you about the topology and the scenario that I run the TCP attack. So I run on my computer on Ethernet 1. I will attack my Ethernet 2 of MikroTik router RB941 in network 102.102.102.0. Okay. The Syn attack will be like this. I will run the web trace and it will send a Syn and it will receive and acknowledge, but the visitor cannot use a Syn too. So the connection will be terminated when I run a Syn attack. Okay. I will explain my firewall design first. I will there are 4 firewall. 2 type of firewall. First type is add source to address list in Syn attack. Jadi source-nya akan ditambah. It will be add on address list in the name of Syn attack. The address list timeout is known, so it will be last forever. The chain is forward. The connection limit is 12, and 32. So the connection limit maximum is 12. The protocol is TCP. And I also activate the TCP flag Syn. The first type, there is 2 chain. There is forward 1 and the input 1. And the second type is there are forward 1 and the input 1 chain. The action is target. Who is the targeted is the protocol the source address list in the address list Syn attack. I set to protocol TCP on the firewall on the second type of firewall. I also add the TCP Syn cookies. I also enable it because it helped me more when against the Syn attack. Okay, when I run the Syn attack, the CPU load will be of 100%. And the packet rates will be higher, and the TX and RX byte will be higher too, also, because the CPU load is 100%. But if I activate my firewall, so when I activate, the CPU will decrease in 3%, 3%, 2%, and 6%. Because of the firewall. And we see at fast stream program, when I start, there are no drop nor set access. There means no packet, no acknowledge that's coming to my program. So the Syn attack will be not effective again. Okay. Did I need to practice it?
You can
Sir?
you can practice. You can demonstrate your router if you want.
Okay, I will demonstrate it. So this is my router. I will attack it on Ethernet. So I using my Ethernet interface. This is my IP is 100.102.1. So I will attack it in 100.102.1. I will turn off my firewall.
Hmm.
Okay, the firewall is turned off. So I will run for it. So my CPU load in here is 100%, but my connection is not terminated because of the TCP Syn cookies. Jadi ada TCP Syn cookies, it will help me to analyze it. So when I stop it first, and I activate my firewall, and I will attack it again. The attack is not effective again. 0, 0, 0. It cannot be launched because of the firewall. And the CPU load is
This one is shown 0. You can maybe you can show your connection.
My connection.
Type connection, yeah, type connection and firewall type connection.
Okay.
Connection type.
Ilmu.
That's the type above your window. There's a connection type type. Ada connection type di atas.
Above my
Firewall nah, kanan on the right. Sebelahnya
Yeah.
address list, beside address list is a connection.
Address list.
Sebelahnya connection.
Oh, connection.
That's a connection that connect with your web stress to your router.
Oh, okay. Okay, there is no connection anymore because I targeted all the connection.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my IP.
You can show your interface traffic, yeah. Before the firewall is enabled, and then after the firewall is enabled.
Okay, before and after. Wait. Okay, I will turn off my firewall first. There is turn off, and then okay, on interface Ethernet 2. Okay, I will run it again. So it will be 100. This is my Ether 2 traffic. My traffic on internet 2, it will 1,700 packets per second.
and my CPU load is 100%.
Okay.
So I will active my firewall then. Okay. Nah, the mode-nya. Okay, I will active my firewall. There is my firewall in here, and I activate it. So the packets drop rapidly to 20 package, from 1,700 to 88, 35, 42 package per second.
Okay. It
Okay.
means your firewall is working.
Yes, my firewall is working very well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your attention.
Yeah. Okay. Next. Who's Jordan? Let's play it.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Today, I'm Francisco Jordan. I will present about how to secure your router from Syn Flood.
Yeah.
First thing first, what is Syn Flood? Syn Flood is a form of denial of service attack where the attacker sends a Syn request.
You have not shown your screen.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. That's
Okay.
good.
Today, I will present about how to secure your router from Syn Flood. First thing first, what is Syn Flood? Syn Flood is a form of denial of service attack when the attacker sends a Syn request to the target that consumes a lot of resource from the server, so that server cannot serve the real traffic when performing a three-way handshake. In the normal condition, as you can see, the CPU load has a small percentage. This is only 3%. And then when the attackers attack via Ethernet, without protection, the CPU load has a large percentage. As you can see, this CPU load already 100%. When the attackers attack via VLAN, the CPU also has a lot of. When the attackers via VLAN, the CPU load is not as big when attack via Ethernet. This is, as you can see from the connection, the attackers is 192.168.100.5, attacking my router 192.168.100.11. To stop the Syn Flood, we should make a filter firewall chain. I use input and the protocol is TCP. And then don't forget to set the limit is 3 and the net max is 32. Also, set the action is add source to address list and give it address list Syn attack. And give it time about I use 24 hours. And then make the second filter. There is chain input and use protocol TCP, and the source address list is Syn attack. And then the action is target. Target means our router reply the attacker with fake acknowledge. And then don't forget to turn on the TCP Syn cookies. This is the time when our router already protect, and then the attacker is attacked via Ethernet. As you can see, the CPU load still 100, but the traffic not as big as when the router didn't have any protection. There is a lot of packets that already got filtered. And this is the time when our router attack via VLAN, but our router already has a protection. From this, the attacker send one package that contain 10 packets. The attacker send one package contain 10 packets. When it's already protect from the connection, you can see the attacker has a less packets that read by the router. This is the attacker 1.192.168.100.5. And now I will show you my simulation.
Okay.
This is the time when our router has a protection. This is my attacking system that attacking 100.11. As you can see, when I run, there is not a lot of connection to attacking my router. Oh, I'm sorry. I should change my. As you can see, there is a little bit of package that read by the router. But if I turn off the filter, as you can see, the connection, there is a lot of packets that read by the router.
Yeah.
As you can see, the CPU load also have a high percentage. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Jordan.
Hey,
Okay,
is
the
it
last but the
is it my
not
time?
least, okay, that's your time.
Okay. Okay. Good morning, friends and
Morning.
Mr.
Okay.
Okay.
Morning.
Yeah. Okay. Today I'm going to presentate about Syn Flood in the lecture network security. So first of all, you guys need to know what is a Syn Flood. Okay. Just imagine that the left one is your computer and the right one is the server. So if you want to connect with the server, you guys need to send a TCP request or synchronization. Someone call usually people call it synchronization, but I usually call it TCP request. So first of all, you guys send a request to the server, and the server will send a request and also the reply to your request. And lastly, you guys send a reply to the server with your acknowledgement. So this is what you call a three-way handshake. So you send a request, they send a request and a reply. Then you send a reply. So both of the server and yourself send a request and a reply. This is what you call a three-way handshake.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is what it is supposed to be. So for example, the B is your IP and A is the server IP. You guys send and receive, and the server also receive and send. But if somebody abuses this, it can be a problem. So imagine if the left one is the attacker and the right one is the defender. the attacker, instead of giving their IP, they're giving an imaginary IP. So instead of the server replying to the attacker's IP, they're replying to somebody that they doesn't even know. It's a random IP. And at this state, it is called a half open state. With one half open state, it is not a problem. But imagine if there's a lot of this random IP that is requesting to the server. What happened is what you call a DDoS, like this. So the attacker sent a lot of requests to the server, and this request adds up and become a lot of half open state. So with a lot of this half open state on the server, eventually the server will slow down and end up not working. So example, if somebody wants to communicate with the server, they will just the server would not just reply. They will not receive your request message at all. So what will happen is, the server will slow down and eventually be dead or unusable to the people that wants to communicate with the server. So this is how you prevent a DDoS.
Yeah.
So first of all, you put a firewall rule on your router or your MikroTik with the chain input with the TCP protocol, and you limit the connection limit. Then on the action tab, you add it to your address list. And in my case here, I'm using the block name as the address list. And the second firewall rule, you guys again make another firewall rule, chain input, protocol TCP with the address list that you have marked on the first firewall rule, then the action is target. So I'm using the a web stress application, and usually here, as you can see, the CPU load is 2%. And if you get DDoS, usually the CPU load will go very high and probably will maxed out at 100%. But if you correctly use the firewall rule, this will prevent the DDoS. So I'm gonna show you guys how this works. So, okay, wait. Screen. Wait. Okay. Winbox. Web stress. CPU load. Okay. Okay. If I disable the firewall, as you can see here, the CPU load gets to 100%. But if I do activate the firewall, the CPU load will decrease and prevent the DDoS. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris. Okay, I think all of you have presented your presentation, yeah?
No, sir.
Who's else?
Fabian?
Oh, yeah, Fabian.
Hello, sir.
Sorry. Yeah,
Hello, sir.
Fabian. The last one. I almost
Yes,
forgot you. Fabian.
Okay, you can see my screen, sir.
Okay, I've seen it.
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Enrico, and today I'm going to present it about DDoS attack on March 5th, 2021. And in today's topic, we will talk about Syn Flood. And what is Syn Flood? Syn Flood is an attack which occurs in the TCP protocols, and its effect is the increase of CPU usage and traffic of the target. In this case, is a server or a router, which limiting target's resources and bandwidth, which in result denial of service of the target. For example, this is how normally how TCP works. So in TCP protocol, you need to do what I call a synchronization. So in the beginning of every communication using TCP protocol, you need to have a three-way handshake between the target and your computer. And this is how it normally happens. So your computer will send a synchronized message to the target, and the target will send another acknowledge to your synchronization request, and also a synchronization request to your computer. And then lastly, your computer will answer the server's synchronization request. That is basically how the normally TCP works. However, in Syn Flood attacks, in this case, the user requests a synchronized message to the target using a fake IP, where it could use a fake or maybe a specific IP you wanted to use. So basically, it doesn't use their own IP, which means when the synchronization from your laptop to the target happens, the server has to answer to the IP which contains which inside the sync packets, which in this case a fake IP, which means there are no feedback, I guess, from the target to the laptop, but the target will answer to a random IP, leaving a half open state of connection. And okay, so this is how we are going to practice Syn flooding. So first, we need to know what our IP is and what is our target's IP. In this case, I open up a command prompt and use ipconfig. And as we can see, I'm using Ethernet connection, so our address is 192.168.4.10, and our target is the default gateway 0.4.1. And for the simulation, I'm using the fast stream web stress tester. We put our target URL, the 4.1 here, and I'm using 1 thread and 5 client per thread. This is my IP setting. As you can see, I use 4.10 as my IP address for the attack. And these are the effects. So on the left picture is normal. As you can see, the CPU load is only 4% with packet rate around 16 packet per second in transmit and read in 15 packet per second. And after the attack, the load increases up to 100% on the router, and the packet jumps from 16 packet per second jump into 1,509 packet per second. This is only happen in only 1 thread and 5 client per thread. Now imagine if there are so many different attacks coming in almost simultaneously, it will reduce the surface of your target. So how do we prevent it? First, I use 2 kinds of firewall. This is the protection firewall type 1 is I use 2 different chain, forward and input. And on the rule, I limit the connection. I limit the connection to only 3. Why do I have to put the limit? Because if I don't, it will block any TCP protocol, which means I cannot use it for my own work. Okay, so I have to use the limit. Now for the action, I use add source to address list, and I will add whatever random IP which are sent it to the router to this address list called Syn DDoS. And as you can see, this is when the attack happens. I use 4.0, and when we see at the address list, it is 4.10 is the recorded source address on the address list. Now the second type of firewall, I use the same chain forward and input. I inputted the protocol only TCP. In firewall rule, I also use the same limit just in case it fails. And on the firewall rule, on the advanced tab, I inputted the source address list the same as the previous one, the Syn DDoS. And on the firewall rule, I use drop now. As you might notice, some from the previous presenter using target instead of drop. Now, why did I do this? Because in targeted, when connection come in and are targeted, they don't go back out. So when your laptop attacks a router, the router won't send this Syn acknowledge packet. It will just, the server will not do anything. The CPU window size is set to 0. This means no data can be transferred during the session. The session is held open, and requests from the sender to close the session are ignored. They must wait for the connection to time out. So it will actually slows the attacker's laptop down. And since I'm using my own laptop to attack this, I don't want to slow my own laptop down. That's why I use drop. But in real world scenario, you can use target. And this is the firewalls in effect. So on the left side of the picture, from the above one is the normal 4%, 16 packet per second. Left below, down left is the after the attack happened. CPU load increases into 100%, and the packet increases to 1,509 packet per second. And on the right image is the before and after the firewall are activated. So this is the before, this is the during attack, and after the attack, the packet reduces and back to normal with CPU load around 3% and packet 19 and 18 packet per second. So it's a huge difference before and after the firewall are in effect. So I think that's all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. You want to demonstrate your router?
Okay. So this is my interface Ether2. First, I'm going to disable the firewall. As you can see, the CPU load is 3%, and the packet rate is only 18%, 18 packet per second, 24 packet per second. And first, we're going to try to attack using the same URL and everything. This is the server, and we attack run. There you can see there's a jump in CPU load and the packet rate on the interface Ether2. And as you can see on the address list, my source are listed. The 4.10 is my IP. Then when I activated my drop firewall, the CPU load drops back to normal amount, like around 5%, 3%. And the packet also dropped down to 14, 20 packet per second. So yeah, this is a demonstration of the Syn Flood attack.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you,
sir.
Thank you very much. All of you have presented your presentation. Yeah. Thank you. Hey, how about Kevin? Have you solved your problem?
The problem is about timing, sir. Kan routernya baru dinyalain, jadi firewallnya nggak terlalu bekerja. Sekarang udah kerja.
Okay, you can show us. You can show to us. Okay.
Nah, ini 44%, nanti turun. Meski di sini kan trafficnya tinggi, itu karena receive-nya, terima. The router receive about the packet and the address list is correctly, and the connection is a limit. And the firewall is active.
Okay. When you turn
It's
off your
about timing.
firewall, what if you turn off your firewall?
If I turn on.
The traffic should be rise. Nah,
CPU load-nya naik.
nah. The traffic
Kalau-
will rise, the CPU load will be high again, you know. Turn it on again. Turn your firewall on again. It should be decreased. Okay. Okay. It works. Okay.
Punya saya perlu timing ya.
No, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know the situation or the topology. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe you can explore it for you.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you very much. All of you have presented your presentation. Thank you very much for your presented in English. Yeah. You have learned how to speak in English, how to present in English. Someday you will meet the situation when you have to present in English. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. I'll turn off this video recording. Thank you.